Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be doing a solo playthrough of Leaping Lions. Now, Leaping Lions is not normally a solo game, so I'll also be playing with Aspirations, the Leaping Lions solo expansion. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I'm ready to play a solo game of Leaping Lions, and I do want to say up front that this game was provided to me by the publisher, Button Shy Games, but I really like it, and I think I'm going to buy it. I think I'm going to buy a copy for myself, because my preview copy does not have a wallet, and I want one, and this is a good game. I'm going to keep playing it. So that's my opinion up front. But Leaping Lions does not have a solo mode right out of the gate. So I am playing it with the Aspirations expansion today. That's the solo expansion, so it adds these 5 cards. So I'll be using that today. This is going to be like a teach as you go video, so I'm just going to do a solo playthrough and kind of explain it as I go along. I also do have the Prosperity expansion. I have not played it yet, but I do intend to put that on the channel at some point later too. So when you play with Aspirations, there are these 5 different lions, and on the back is instructions on how they play. These are like the different bots or automa or whatever you want to call them. So I've seen a lot of discussion online with people saying they're having difficulty with the yellow lion, and that actually surprises me because this is the one that I just randomized it. But the first time I played against yellow, and it played really well, but I beat it, and I've beat it a couple times since then. And my last play, I wish I had filmed my last playthrough because I scored like 50 points, which is really high, at least in my experience. Like that's not going to happen again. So I wish I'd got that one recorded. But I will play against the yellow lion, and so I'll put this other stuff away. And let me just take these for a second, and we'll get set up. And to set up, you want to take these 16 platform cards, and they're all double-sided. There's a I don't know what color I'd call it. I don't know if it's quite gold, but we'll say a gold side and a green side. You just want them all facing the same way and the same side up. So I'm going to shuffle those up. While I do that, let me tell you what this game is about. It says, as I drop all the cards, no Chinese New Year celebration is complete without the lion dance. In a popular variation of the dance, especially in Malaysia, the lion dancers perform gravity-defying jumps between poles of increasing heights to the rhythm of beating cymbals, gongs, and drums. So that gives you some idea of what we're going to be doing here. Okay, those are shuffled. So I said I'm playing against the yellow lion today. So I'm going to take this yellow lion card, flip it over. These are the instructions for the yellow lion. So my opponent will follow those instructions. This will be my opponent, and this will be me up top. I'll probably have to slide this down a little. We need to make an offer of cards here. And so we need, I'll put these on the screen, don't worry, to do something like that. So we've got our deck, and then 3 columns with 2 rows. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, we're ready to start. So we're going to be building a series of platforms and aiming for different scoring criteria at the end of the game. The game ends when there are no more platforms left, either in the offer and in the deck. So when they're all gone, the game is over. And so this will make more sense as we go, but the priorities for the yellow lion here are it wants to get fans and firecrackers. Those are the icons it wants. And it's real good at doing that. And so I just kind of want to get into the playthrough. I'll talk more about the strategy after you've seen the game, like at the end of the video. But there are really 2 things I can do. I can try and go after the other symbols, the drums, the cymbals, and the gongs. Or I can try and deny fans and firecrackers to the yellow lion because that's what it wants. But we are always the first player. And on your first turn, you can take any card from the first 2 columns. And I want to start with this number 3 card here because it is a low number. So I'm going to place it next to my lion like this. And then we slide down the other cards in that row and replace the empty slot with the top card from the deck. I'll explain more what's going on after I get to my next turn. So now it is the opponent's turn. they can also select from the first 2 columns on the first turn. So their top priority is they want anything that has a fan or a firecracker on it. Well, we've got cymbals, gong, gong, and fan. So this one has a fan, so that's the one they're going to take. They're going to place it right here. And then again, we refill the offer. Okay, so now after the first turn, for the rest of the game, when you go to select your card, you look at how many stars are in the corner of your rightmost card. So I've got 1 star in this instance, so I can take any 1 card from the first column. If I had 2 stars here, like the opponent does, they could take a card from the first or second column. If you had 3 stars, you can take any card from the first 3 columns. And there are some 4-star cards, which allow you to take any card from the 3 columns or the top card of the deck. So it could be a little bit confusing at first, but again, you just look at the rightmost card in your tableau here that we're building like a series of these platforms for the lions to jump on, and you just look at your rightmost card, whatever value of stars, that's how many columns you can evaluate to take a card on your turn. So we'll see that in practice in a second. I guess before I take my turn, I didn't really finish the opponent's turn. So every time for the AI, when they build a new platform, then they ignore any when built effects on the card, and instead it says, in this case, upgrade your rival's leftmost platform whose upgraded side provides an additional fan or firecracker. If none exists, advance their lion if possible. So this card has got a fan on it, and it tells us here at the very bottom, if you upgrade it, you get a firecracker. So that's what they're going to do. All right, and so as we're playing the game, we'll be trying to upgrade cards. You can see this went from 2 stars to 3, and it got them another symbol, which is going to score. And you want to advance your lion on the platforms, and I think thematically that makes a lot of sense. Okay, it's my turn now, and I've got this ongoing ability, this once per turn. If your lion has already advanced this turn, advance your lion. So that should help me get my lion to advance, which is going to be worth some points. So on my turn, I can take now any card from just column 1. So this one or this one. And one of the scoring methods in this game is getting a bunch of platforms whose number in the top left corner here, which is unique, getting them ascending the entire time. So it's as if the lions are, climbing on higher and higher platforms. So my 2 options are this 13 and this 6. I want the 6. I think that's a really important strategy that I like to employ. We probably have a little more room to push these up, just so you can see this a little better too. Okay, so now at the end game, I can treat one of my cymbals, drums, or gongs as a firecracker instead. So that was my turn. Now we're going to refill this, let the opponent go. They can take any card from the first 3 columns. And so again, their first priority, anything with a fan or a firecracker. There are no fans or firecrackers here, so we go to the next step. Anything that can upgrade to having a fan or firecracker on the backside. So what are the upgrades here? Fan, fan, pole, gong, pole, pole. So now we're down to just these 2 options. There's a fan on the backside of either of those. The next preference would be going in ascending height. So this is a 7. 9 and 13 would both be ascending from a 7. So now we go to the final tiebreaker. Which one is the lowest height? They're going to take the 9. So this goes here. And then, when built, upgrade your rival's leftmost platform, whose upgraded side provides an additional fan or firecracker. There's a fan on the other side of this, so we will upgrade. If they do not have a card that they can do that with, instead they will advance their lion. So now we'll shift these down, draw the next card, and now it's my turn, and I can get anything from column 1 or 2. And so I've got platform height 3 and 6, and there's an 8 here. I'm kind of using the same sort of logic here, like ascending height, lowest height. This is the one I want. And now is a good time to tell you that when you take a card, you have 2 options on your turn. You can either build it, which means just place it. It is the next, you add it to your line here. So it's the rightmost card. You can't put it anywhere else in between or before or anything. So you can build your platform. That's what I've been doing. Or you can take your card, discard it, and then when you discard it, you may upgrade any of your existing platforms, or you may advance your lion. So I find that when I don't have a good option, like from these cards to take, that's a good time to just take something that would be useful to my opponent, discard it, and then I can upgrade or advance my lion. So we just built this one, this 8 height one, and this says when built, either upgrade your leftmost basic platform, which would be this one, or choose 2 of your empty platforms adjacent to each other and swap them. And so if I had a couple of cards that were out of order, it could be really helpful to swap them. But it says they have to be adjacent and empty. Empty means you do not have a lion on top of it. So I am going to choose to upgrade my leftmost basic platform, which is this one here. So I flip this over. That gets me a fan. Or what did I have? Yeah, it was a firecracker. So that added a fan. And I still have the once per turn ability there, where if I advance my lion, I could advance again. So that was my turn. Now we go back to the opponent. So they can take anything from the first 3 columns. They want a fan or a firecracker. Again, we don't see that. So can any of these upgrade into a fan or firecracker? This one can be a fan, and this one could be a fan. So next, are any of these in ascending height? 13 would be ascending from 9. 1 would not, so it's going to take this card. Place it here. And then the when built effect, we want to upgrade it if it'll add another fan or firecracker, which this does. All right, our turn now. And we're looking at columns 1 and 2. And the only one that would be ascending from here is 10, because I'm at 8. And I like that one a lot because I have a gong and a drum, and that would give me a cymbal. And if you can make those sets, that's worth points at the end of the game. So I'm going to take this, and there's a when built effect. Choose 2 of your empty platforms and swap them. I'm wondering now, instead of taking this card, because I don't think that the yellow lion will want this, if I leave it, it will likely stay there. So is there something I want to build first that I could then use this swap 2 of your empty platforms ability later? And unfortunately, no, I don't think there's a good fit. So I'm just going to build this. I'm going to forgo that ability. I want to keep everything how I have it. And now we slide this down. The yellow lion has 3 stars to spend, so we're looking at columns 1, 2, and 3. They want a fan or a firecracker. There's a fan available here, so they take it. And then if they upgrade it, it'll have a firecracker, so they will upgrade. Now we're going to replace this. Back to us. We've got 2 stars, so we're looking at columns 1 and 2. And so I'm going to go for the 12 height, just going to keep ascending. That seems like what I want to do. When built, either advance your lion or choose 2 of your empty platforms adjacent to each other and swap them. I'm not going to swap. I'm going to advance my lion. And then with this once per turn ability, if your lion has already advanced this turn, advance your lion. So I've moved my lion twice. That's a good thing. Now the yellow lion gets to go, and they're looking at the first 3 columns again. Again, one of them has a fan, so easy decision for them. Firecracker on the back, they flip it over. So they're doing some good things for scoring. This is the last one in the deck, so we're down to the last 3 turns now. And I can look at columns 1 and 2. I can't look at column 3. But column 2 here has a 14. That would be ascending from 12, so that would be good. And I like the ability on that. So I'm going to take that card. This still slides down. It just can't be replaced. The ability is, when built, choose another of your basic platforms with a when built ability and resolve that ability. So this is a basic, this one's been upgraded, but this one's basic. And this ability is the one I just used previously. Either advance your lion, stop there, I'm going to advance my lion, and then I'll use this once per turn. If your lion has already advanced, advance your lion. So, okay, it's moved quite a ways down the line now. All right, the yellow lion is going to go, and they've got 4 stars here, so they can look at the first 3 columns or the top card of the deck if that was available. Again, there's only one that has a fan. They're going to take it. And then, when built, upgrade your rival's leftmost platform whose upgraded side provides an additional fan or firecracker. This one actually does not. It has a pole on the other side. So if none exist, advance their lion if possible. You can't advance if you're all the way to the right already. but so they're going to advance for the first time. Our turn again, we've got 3 stars. There's only 2 columns left, so we can grab any card we want. And of what's left, none of them have fans or firecrackers, but this is the only one with a fan on the other side. So I'm going to take it and discard it so my opponent can't get it. And I will use that to upgrade one of my existing cards. Ooh, but I forgot. You have to upgrade your leftmost basic card. I was thinking I could pick and choose, but I can't. Because I am looking, I've got 2 gongs, 2 drums, and 1 cymbal. I would like another cymbal if possible, but this one has a symbol and this one's ability kind of counts as a symbol. So even if I don't do it now, I would like to deny this card to the yellow lion, and I'll grab one of those next time to just round out what I can do. So I could upgrade this card. That would just give me a fan. I don't know if that's that helpful. I think instead I will discard to advance my lion. So I'll do that. And then I have this once per turn ability. The lion is already advanced, so I can advance again. All right, the opponent goes now. They want any fan or firecracker. There's none. They want anything that could upgrade to a fan or firecracker. There's none. So then they want ascending height. They're at 16. Nothing is going to be higher than 16. So then they just want the lowest card possible. That'll be this 2. And then again, they have nothing that can upgrade to have more firecrackers or fans, so they advance their lion. I can slide this down just a little bit since we're at the end now. And I suppose they will get 1 more card, so we'll leave a little room for that. My cards are okay, though. All right, that's a little wonky, huh? Poor lion. There we go. All right, so now it's my turn. I've got 3 stars. There's only 1 column, so I can take either of these. I want this one with the symbols, and I'm actually just going to play it. I'm going to keep it rather than upgrade or advance. I guess I did need a little room. Okay, and it does have a when built ability, and it says when built, improve your stage. So that means it's as if I can toss a card. So improve your stage is either upgrade your leftmost basic platform or advance your lion. And I think points wise, it's going to be equivalent either way. I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade. You know what? That'll actually be more points. We'll do that. Okay, I'll upgrade my leftmost basic platform. And now the rival, the yellow line, gets 1 more turn. They take the last card on offer. They build it. There's no fan or firecracker on the other side, so they're not going to upgrade it. So instead, they will advance their lion. And now we can start scoring, and that includes triggering any endgame abilities. And endgame abilities are optional. You don't have to take them, and you can trigger them in any order. I only have 1. Treat one of your cymbals, drums, or gongs as a firecracker instead. And I don't want to do that because I've actually got 2 complete sets. I don't have any extras, so I'm just going to ignore that. The rival here on the yellow lion's card says endgame. Your rival activates any endgame abilities that provide fans or firecrackers to increase their score. So for example, this one that I'm ignoring would provide a firecracker. So they would activate that if they could. And they've got 1, 2, 3 cards here with endgame abilities. So let's take a look at these. This one says during scoring, this platform provides 1 cymbal, drum, or gong. That's not providing any fans or firecrackers, so that one's not going to be activated. This one says, move one of your empty platforms to either end of the stage. Shift platforms as needed to keep your lion above the same platform. Again, that doesn't provide any new fans or firecrackers, so that won't be activated. And finally, advance your lion for each fan you have up to a maximum of 3. While that involves fans, it doesn't provide any new fans. So again, we're not going to activate any of their endgame abilities either. So that's good for me. And so now we just use the same scoring criteria as the base game. So we'll start with me. So we score 1 point for each star on each platform below or to the left of your lion. So this is part of the reason we're advancing the lion throughout. My lion is here. So below my lion, there's 3 stars, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then 6 points for each complete set of 3 different instruments, cymbals, drum, and gong on your platforms. And each instrument may only be a part of 1 set. So I've got gong, drum, cymbal, gong, drum, cymbal. I've got 2 full sets. That's another 12 points. So I am up to 26. And then this next one, this is the one that that this particular rival is going to be scoring a lot for, is each of your firecrackers scores 1 point for each of your fans. So I have only 1 firecracker and I have 2 fans, so that's going to get me another 2 points. So I'm at 28. And finally, Score points based on the number of poles on each set of 2 or more adjacent platforms with ascending heights. Each platform may only be a part of one set. So there's a little chart here, but basically, these ascending heights like 3, 6, 8, if you've got 3 of them in ascending heights, that's 3 victory points. 4 of them gets you 5 points. 5 of them gets you 8 points. 6 is 11 points. 7 is 15 points. Yep, 15. And then diminishing returns after that. So just if you have 8, then you get 1 additional point. If you have 9, that's 1 more additional point. So going from 15 to 16, 17. So seven's kind of the limit here. So I've got 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and then a 4. So that 4 doesn't count, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 poles. So the chart says that is another 11 points for me. I was at 28, so that gets me up to 39. That's pretty good. I don't know if it'll be enough, but it's not bad. It's a pretty, pretty typical score for me. Now, one thing to note is you didn't see this here, but some of these, when you upgrade them, can add an additional pole. So that helps, 8, 10, 12. This is 1 more pole on that scoring chart. So that can be quite useful too. But what did I say? I'm at 39. So let's see. We're going to score the rival the same way. So again, 1 point for each star on each platform below or to the left of your lion. So they're going to get 3, 6, 9 points for those. Then 6 points for each set of instruments. And unfortunately, they did get a full set. They've got a gong, a cymbal, and a drum. So that's another 6. So we're up to 15. Then each of your firecrackers scores 1 point for each of your fans. How many fans have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Times 1, 2, 3 firecrackers. So that's another 18 points. So they're up to 33 now. And then let's check ascending platforms. So we've got here 7, 9, 13. That's 3 of them. That's another 3 points. So that's up to 36 now. We've got 11, 15, 16. Oh, that's 39. That's 39. And then 2, 5. That doesn't do anything. So it's actually 39 to 39. And in this game, ties are a loss. So it looks like I've tied this time. But hey, at least it was close. So let me give you my final thoughts now. I think that hopefully you understand this game better now. You kind of need to know how it scores to make like good decisions as you're playing, but I thought there's a lot going on. I thought it would just kind of make sense to teach it in this way. So if this is your first time through, you might go back, watch it again now, and it'll make more sense. I find when I play, I always get 6 or 7 platforms ascending. I really tend to put a lot of weight on that, and that tends to score me pretty well. Sometimes I've gotten 3 sets of instruments, but never more than that. So I find it can be trickier to try and get the sets of instruments as opposed to getting firecrackers and fans. That's, I think, a more straightforward method. But with this yellow lion in particular, with this rival, I find that there are so many cards with either fans or firecrackers on the front, or ones that could be upgraded to gain fan and firecracker symbols, that the lion for the yellow lion here for this rival doesn't advance very far. They tend to upgrade a lot, and they're going to be scoring for these firecrackers and fans, but they won't get a lot of stars from the upgrades. So if you can get a card like this one and push your lion further to the right, that is helpful. I probably could utilize, discarding cards in the mid game a little bit more often, but it is a little bit situational, but I feel like that's a route I haven't explored too much yet. So there are, again, 4 other rival cards here. So they'll do things like they'll prioritize the most stars, they'll prioritize any ability that advances the lion, instruments that complete a set. So there's one, that kind of does the opposite of what this one did. Instead of collecting fans and firecrackers, you're collecting instruments. And then endgame abilities that move or swap platforms. They all play a little bit differently. There's also this expert mode on the bottom of each one. So for the one we just played, expert mode is your rival begins with platform 6, which is this one that turns one of the instruments into a firecracker instead. So they've each got some card that they prefer if you want to play on expert mode. One thing that I think was a little bit of a miss was that the yellow lion instructions are on the back of the yellow lion. At first, that makes a lot of sense, but that means when I'm playing against the yellow lion rival, if I don't have all this stuff on the back of the card memorized, I can't use that lion. So I use just the base game one. But it'd be kind of fun if, the yellow instructions were on the back of blue, the blue instructions were on the back of green, etc. Like make a loop so that you could see the yellow lion's instructions, but play with the yellow lion card. That would be pretty cool. So small miss there. But of course, that doesn't affect the gameplay at all. And the gameplay itself is fun. I like the core loop. I like what you're trying to do. There's some variety, but it doesn't take too long to play. Once you kind of learn the game and know what you're doing, it's not terribly complicated. There's enough choice in there that has an interesting decision space, but it's not overwhelming. I don't get AP when playing this. And then the 5 different behaviors of the rivals in the Aspirations expansion too are really cool. So I like to generally shuffle these up and pick one at random, so I don't know who I'm going to play against until I sit down and I flip it over and start playing. So that's Leaping Lions. I think I am going to buy a copy of this. It's pretty cool. I'm actually really surprised that there's not a lot of, I couldn't find any videos of Leaping Lions out there except for one of the designer of the game playing a prototype version of it. I think maybe that's due to the fact that it wasn't a Kickstarter. This was just released on the Button Shy website. So maybe it's not getting as much buzz as some of their other games, but it should. This is a really good one. And if you play 2-player games, I think you can imagine how the 2-player game would go. You use that card, but everything else essentially works the same way. And you're taking turns, one person or the other, drafting the cards from the supply and building this out. You score it. It makes a lot of sense. And I can't say that I know anything about Chinese New Year or lion dances, but I really get a strong impression from this game that this was made by somebody who really cares about the topic and put a lot of thought into it, and just the theme comes through really, really well. So I am impressed with it from that perspective too. Also, it's pretty easy to clean up. You just take all these improved platforms, you flip them over so they're all on their basic side, then you've got your cards. So you can just shuffle them up and play again the next time. But if you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below. Do the same if you think I've made a mistake. And if you'd like to see the Prosperity expansion, let me know, because I have it. I haven't tried it yet. Adds a few more of these platform cards with some new special abilities, so I'm curious to test that out. Don't forget, I've got a whole Button Shy playlist. I'll put this video on Board Game Geek as well. You can like it over there. While you're there, stop and get a Table from One micro badge. Then, of course, you can like this video here on YouTube. You could subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody else who might enjoy it, or you can head over to my coffee page, ko-fi, like all of the fine people here on the screen. Reserved seating is for the Table for One monthly contributors, and the Head of the Table award is for the top 10 contributors over the last 90 days. So thank you to all of my coffee contributors. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching Table for One. I hope you enjoyed watching Leaping Lions. I had a good time playing, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.